Thank you so much. So I am currently affiliated to the postgraduate school at the University of Southern Indiana. I was born and raised in Kenya, but that is in the East Africa. But as an intellectual nomad, I have traveled, lived in, and worked in all but two continents. I am therefore a walking, talking museum of encounters, curated from my globe-trotting exploits. In the fall of 2022, I migrated to the United States from Papua New Guinea in the South Pacific. Now, the world is stunningly uninformed about Papua New Guinea. Geographically nestled in the crown of Australia, this jewel of the Pacific is possibly the last frontier on the planet Earth. If you ever seek an impeccable holiday experience, Papua New Guinea will never disappoint. Now, down there is an Instagram moment waiting to happen. Your wildest imagination is no match for its authentic beauty and intriguing history. As an island, Papua New Guinea is the size of California with 10 million fine souls speaking approximately 900 languages. As expected, its cultural riches and extraordinary wilderness will be a traveler's delight. Their soils are incredibly fertile, their men are authentic, and their women are super organic. The famous Queen of Sheba was born there at a place called Rabaul. I sure met her sister. Now, Carl Hoffman, a reputable American social anthropologist, in his book Savage Harvest, persists that in 1961, Michael Rockefeller was killed and eaten by the Asmat people of Papua New Guinea in a ritualistic cannibalism. Unfortunately, he isn't alone in this madness. The internet is littered with all sorts of phantasmagorical innuendos about the quantum of calamities that could potentially kill a foreigner in Papua New Guinea. This notion that Papua New Guinea is a dismal place is as imaginary as a unicorn. I have been privileged to do elegant laps around highly relevant places in this not so tiny landmass. And so I am legitimately eligible to give an insider's perspective on life in that perfect corner of the planet. So in the summer of 2017, I got a job offer at the Papua New Guinea University of Technology. I was serving as the Director of Teaching and Learning. And like many people out here, given its digital footprints, I was initially very nervous about what life is like in Papua New Guinea. But I quickly dismissed my intuition when I touched down at Jackson's International Airport. And after a few months' stay, there occurred a complete revival in the ecosystem of my thinking, and thus I brought my family along. We then called it home for almost half a decade. And as author and philosopher Bertolt Brecht remarks, home to a goat is where grass tastes like grass. But to people, home should be where morning smells like morning. And so trust me when I authoritatively hail Papua New Guinea as the next big thing in the Southern Hemisphere. Of course, like any other growing economy, it has its stories of hopes and holes, but I can vouch that claiming that its people are inhospitable will be to tell a bright, shining lie. As a nature corridor, it is undeniable that Papua New Guinea's sceneries are breathtaking. The lush contours of slumbering volcanoes and the untouched virgin jungles, not to mention the spectacular roaring cascades of its giant rivers. I so often sat with the shallow seafloors of those pristine waters, watching the sun glide west in its full splendor. Papua New Guinea also has substantive endowments of biodiversity. Its preserving advantages are not limited to the rich, fertile soils or the glorious mineral deposits, and as well as the gas deposits. History's most remarkable ruins are also housed there. The World War II relics, the dug-out mountain ribs, and the unmarked graves of those fallen foreign soldiers provide a sober disclaimer that this is no ordinary place. I have been to most of its hard-to-reach coastal mountaintops, and I can for sure say that it's hard to beat a scenic viewpoint that comes complete with the remarkable ancient ruins. It's a dizzying spectacle. You stand atop a hill and behold what was once a bloody battleground for the Japanese soldiers against the Allied forces. both sides nursing a consuming desire to win. The accurate scale of the World War II crisis can best be understood while standing there. Reinforcing its authentic appeal is that you get into a new tribe with their unique ageless cultural dispositions for every few steps or meters that you may walk. These beautiful people avidly honor their traditional cultural heritage, even as they remain primarily Christians. But even when tempers flare and tribal fights erupt, there is minimal cause for concerns, especially for people who aren't party to the feud. The costs of these isolated incidents of fierce altercations is not insignificant though. As a people, they seem to have a golden past and a historical connection to many a continent. Though if you are ever to meet a Papua New Guinean in the streets of New York, you'd pass them for any other significant American until you meet the blue-eyed blonde. Then your jaw drops. It is criminal to spread disinformation on vital matters of public interest. Sometimes I think, though, that online vandalism against Papua New Guinea emanates from a dual strategy of self-centered people who have found honeypot down there and who want others to join in the adventure, or simply half-bright adults who suffer acute integrity outrage and know little about the dangers of a single story. So when you crouch before your computer screens, secreting contaminated viewpoints about Papua New Guinea, I want to caution you against being an absolutist. The internet has a news ecosystem that offers too much oxygen to misinformation. As someone who, before living there, had only a single story about the place, I fully agree with Chimamanda Adichie Ngozi when she asserts that single stories are not only untrue, but also rob people of their dignity. Believing all the negative stories online about Papua New Guinea is like promoting tobacco to children. If you're into globetrotting, or if you are contemplating a worthwhile career destination, then Papua New Guinea should be in your bucket list. Until the American dream came calling, I had long hoped to remain in the South Pacific till kingdom comes. I was truly enjoying a colorful career as a servant of the state in that little-known corner of the paradise. Now, Wayne Gitsy, remarkable American coach, remarks that you miss 100% of shots you don't take. So as fate will have it, after about 5 glorious years, I had to painstakingly send one of those most difficult letters ever written in the history of corporate resignations. In part, it had these honest truths. Speaking from my heart and mind, permit me to confess that as the Tindis, the best days of our lives have been lived in Papua New Guinea. Now, those were bare bones of truth. Sometimes in the years to come, when we have become empty nesters, I want to go back to Papua New Guinea and complete my unfinished assignments, contribute to nation building, drink fresh coconut juice, go to church, eat local dishes, dance to the rhythm of the indigenous drums, walk their snow-white sand beaches, visit the marketplaces and mingle with those authentic folks who are eternally giggling, laughing, smoking, chewing betel nuts, and living their best lives. I want to follow the rugby craze between the Maroons and the Blues. I want to hear those familiar hushed voices whispering, "Mangi Africa," in the supermarkets. On the 8th of August 2022, Air New Guinea took off from Port Moresby, allowing me to see the land aloud below. The faucets of my eyes opened, allowing the colorless liquid content to stain my cheeks. Mortified like a carved stone, I endured the 22-hour flights to Los Angeles. Perhaps one day my spirit will eventually leave Papua New Guinea and join my body here in the United States. Or the reverse will surely happen. If Papua New Guinea won't come to the world should go to Papua New Guinea. Thank you.